Hey everyone, Yeezy Taught Me here. I know it's been about 2 years since I've been on my channel, but I have clearly been outside living a life. And if you're on this video, you probably want to get a piece of that action too. So we're gonna jump right into it because Puerto Rico is more than open if you want to go on a vacation. So this is our VRBO we stayed at. It might also be on Airbnb, I'm not sure, you can check. It was $750 and it slept up to 16 people. There was 15 of us, so we needed all the space we could get. It's right in the heart of Condado, which is 15 minutes from the main airport. It's also right in the heart of the shopping district, all the restaurants, a 5-minute walk to the beach. I will say the beach is on a strip of hotels, so if you want a more private, more romanticized beach, there are 4 or 5 beaches within 20 to 30 minutes of Condado, an easy drive. So on our first night, we went to Stk Steakhouse, which is like a club/restaurant. They bring out sparklers and play music for your shots. They have amazing seafood, awesome service, great drinks, really cool desserts, and it's right on Condado Beach. So you can walk there from your Airbnb hotel, no problem. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So here's just a little quick intro to the squad that I went to Puerto Rico with. I put this here to emphasize for you guys, if you want to go to Puerto Rico during a pandemic, cool. If you want to go to Puerto Rico during a pandemic with a large group of friends, it's also very doable. We were scared at first before booking the trip because there was an imposed curfew that started at 8 p.m. You couldn't go out. Everything was closed after 8 p.m. The beaches were closed. The restaurants were closed, the clubs were closed, but that was over the holidays. Literally on January 7th, they lifted the curfew, and on January 11th, we were in Puerto Rico. And we were able to book and do whatever we wanted just about, except for the strip clubs are still closed, but just showing you guys it's completely possible. On our second day in PR, we rented a yacht from Watertime Charters. I will link them down below in the description. At first, I was a little sketched out because the manager was texting me because I couldn't speak English, and she was sending me the PayPal invoice already, and we hadn't even seen the yacht. But everything turned out fine, so 10 out of 10 would recommend them. You can add on a chef, you can add on jet skis, you can add on water scubas. You just tell them where you want to go and the size of your boat, and they take care of everything, and they just send you an invoice. They have boats for 3 people. They have boats up to 15 people capacity. However, due to COVID right now, you can only have 13 people per vessel on the water, no matter what size your boat is. And if you get caught with more than 13 people, they will fine you, they'll make you dock. That's what the water authorities told us, but I don't know how true that is. Also, the tiki huts and the bar was closed on the beach that we went to, but still beautiful nonetheless. Later on that night, we went back to the house and had a house party. Never underestimate the power of a house party because, baby, it was up and it was stuck. We had a great time. But, you know, that's the one downside about Puerto Rico right now. The clubs, the strip clubs are closed. There is an area where you can go and party if you know where to find it. I'll tell you about that later. To cure the hangover the next morning, we went to OLV Hotel. Their rooftop has a beautiful restaurant called Araya Rooftop with views of the bay. Breakfast was amazing. I bet the views are even better at night. If you are like me and like to travel off the beaten path and explore, I would recommend definitely getting a car. Cars are super cheap. I think it was like $250 for a whole week for me to get a car. And if you like to explore like myself, we went to Cerro Meme. We also went to a few waterfalls. Get a car. They really don't have Ubers like that there, and the places are like maybe like an hour outside of the city, but the views are breathtaking and they are definitely worth it if you just want to, you know, take a day, get away from the city and explore. Beyond beautiful. For one of our excursions, we did the night kayaking where you're supposed to see the luminescent bay. The bay wasn't really luminescent. They just had lights on the bottom of their kayak. So if you do that, just beware. It was still pretty, but just beware. This is La Perla. I can't roll my R's, don't judge me. But this is a place I told you that you can go to after curfew. Cops, for some reason, don't come down there and enforce COVID rules. So go down there, get turned, party with the locals, see a lot of cats. That's my friend taking pictures with a cat because she's a weirdo. But it's a turn time. One excursion we chose to do was ziplining through the El Yunque National Forest. This is where a car comes in handy because most of the excursions are in El Yunque National Forest and it's about an hour drive from Condado. We ziplined with Jungle Key Zipline Adventures. Fortunately, with this company, if you have enough people, they will provide you with free transportation and come pick you up. I also want to add that I booked all of our excursions except for one through viator.com. Just from my personal experience, I liked Viator better than Travelocity and Expedia for Puerto Rico. There is no way that you can go to Puerto Rico and not visit the historical Old San Juan district. The cobblestone streets, the beautiful colored buildings, it's one of a kind. Outside of the restaurants and bars, there are numerous historic points that you can go visit. The cemetery, churches, forts. However, the insides might be closed due to COVID. A lot of them were when I went, but they're still beautiful to see on the outside. For all my Instagramming, picture taking people out there like myself, everybody knows this huge Puerto Rican flag that flies over Calle Fortaleza. I don't know if it's because of COVID, but the street is closed and blocked off with gates. So if you want to take a picture under it, you can't. You have to take a picture from afar like I have. But there are other flags and other streets. Just something funny we came across while in Old San Juan. This restaurant is called Mr. Weenie Waffles. They have waffles in the shapes of, well, you know, if you want a nice laugh, stop by. We went horseback riding on the beach and through the rainforest with Carabali Rainforest Adventures. It was really, really pretty, but it was really long. It was like 4 hours. And when I booked it, I could have swore it said it was like only an hour, 2 hours. We ended up getting off the horses and Ubering back. It was just so long. We also went ATVing with Carabali Rainforest Adventures. Again, it was beautiful, but if you're an experienced ATV rider, if you want to go fast, if you want to go through the mud, this isn't for you. They also wouldn't let you have your phones out on the ride. I literally had to sneak my phone and get this crappy video for you guys. But you know, it was worth it, all in the name of YouTube. Later on in the evening, we went on a sunset catamaran sail. I will say this was much more my speed. They gave us free liquor, they had an aux cord, and you got good views. Bring a sweater though, because it does get chilly on the water.
Till tonight, girl.
The next morning, after another one of our amazing house parties, and while everyone slept their hangovers off, me and my friend Bunny decided to wake up at 7 a.m., drive an hour towards the Bayaman, and go hike towards Charco Prieto, which is one of the most beautiful waterfalls I think I have ever seen in my life. Make sure you get up early so you can beat the crowds and see it in all of its grandeur. Also, make sure you bring tissues because my friend Bunny did not. She hiked the whole way barefoot because she only brought flip-flops, but it was totally worth it. Look at that. If you come to Puerto Rico, make sure you go to Charco Prieto. For our group farewell dinner, we went to Olive Boutique Hotel, which included Sage Steak Loft. This was my favorite restaurant we went to the entire trip, and I just had to let you guys know about it. You should definitely stop by and check it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching my video. If I helped you at all with your decision on traveling to Puerto Rico during the pandemic, or if you just liked the video itself, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. Also, I know I'm such a nerd, but I did make an itinerary for the trip to give to everyone, so I'm just gonna go ahead and plug it in right here so you can see. It has everything I talked about in the video, also things that I didn't talk about and other suggestions that you might be interested in. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.